to News Radar again. Republicans float a scaled back. They are literally scaling back on how much we get on this stimulus bill. So this is something a lot of people are looking forward to, the stimulus bill, and the reason is because the stimulus bill is going to be what lets us know whether or not who's going to be getting the stimulus check and when they're going to be getting it, and all the important information we need to know about that, because a lot of people are looking forward to their stimulus checks. So let's go ahead and get into this video so I can clear some information up for you guys. Okay, so right here it says Republicans float a scaled back stimulus bill. The measure would reinstate supplement unemployment benefits and at a half their original rate, and is unlikely to find support among Democrats. Republicans are proposing a narrow pandemic relief bill that would provide unemployed workers with an extra $300 per week and shield businesses from virus-related lawsuits. $300 per week. So this is like a paycheck basically. This ain't a stimulus bill anymore. This, or a stimulus check, this is an actual paycheck. If we're getting paid $300 per week, that's anything getting paid per week, or hourly or salary, that is a paycheck. So they're basically giving us a paycheck every week for $300. But it says it depends on the person. Washington Senate Republicans on Tuesday began circulating text of a narrow coronavirus relief package that would revive extra unemployment benefits at half the original rate, shield businesses from lawsuits related to the viruses, and provide funding for testing in schools. The draft measure appears to be an effort to break through the political stalemate over providing another round of economic stimulus to Americans during the pandemic, but it is unlikely to alter the debate in Washington, where Democrats have repeatedly rejected previous Republicans' offers as insufficient. The new bill would spend less money in fewer areas than those earlier offers. The proposal, according to draft legislation obtained the New York Times, contains many of the provisions Republicans first introduced as part of a $1 trillion opening bid before negotiations with Democrats. Those talks stalled as Democrats insisted on a much larger package, initially totaling $3.4 trillion. So is this really going to help people? That's what I would like to know, and that's what you guys would like to know. That's why you guys clicked on this video, because you guys want to know what is going to be happening with the stimulus check, stimulus bill, and what you're going to be getting, when you're going to be getting it. You want to know all the info about it. So this is what we got here. It says, with both sides at a stalemate, President Trump circumvented Congress with a series of executive actions aimed at providing additional unemployment benefits and reducing the amount of money workers contribute toward payroll taxes by temporarily delaying collection of those taxes until next year. So, okay. It is unclear whether senators currently scattered across the country until early September for the annual summer recess will vote on the measure anytime soon. Lawmakers and aides have begun to discuss the possibility of using the looming lapse in the annual government funding, which expires at the end of September, to jointly approve a short-term spending bill and relief package. From what they are talking about, though, with this package, though, they're saying people are going to have to pay it back. So The existence of the draft measure signaled an attempt by Senate Republican leaders who have taken a back seat to Mr. Trump's advisors in negotiations with Democrats thus far to restart negotiations. And it comes after Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California called House members back earlier from their summer recess to vote Saturday on legislation addressing changes to the Postal Service and providing $25 billion to the Bellegarde agency, which will be critical to ensuring voters can vote by mail this November, which I already made a video in the past. Donald Trump's trying to make it to where U.S. mail is not going to be coming out no more. He's trying to stop the mail postal service completely because he don't want people to vote. And that's something that everybody needs. Everybody needs postal service, to get mail and whatnot, ship stuff out. It's a very important part of this country to have this postal service up and running. Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, the majority leader, told the Courier-Journal on Tuesday that the standalone postal bill could open the opportunity for discussion about something smaller than what the Speaker and the Democratic Senate leader were insisting on at the point of impasse. Ms. Pelosi and Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, the minority leader, have repeatedly insisted that Democrats will restart negotiations only when the administration agrees to spend at least $2 trillion on another round of relief, an amount far larger than what Republicans are prepared to allocate. We have tried to come to that agreement now. All they have to do is recognize the need, Ms. Pelosi said at a Politico Playbook event on Tuesday. Democrats also want more money for the Postal Service, which is not included in the Republican bill. The draft measure would not allocate new money to the agency, but would forgive a $10 billion loan offered to the Postal Service in the $2.2 trillion stimulus law that was passed in March. As the impasse persists, rank and file lawmakers facing re-election from both parties have grown increasingly uneasy with the lack of congressional action. Dozens of House lawmakers have signed on to a letter to Ms. Pelosi and Representative Steny H. Hoyer of Maryland, the majority leader, asking for a second vote on Saturday on legislation that would provide the full $600 weekly federal benefits and ensure an automatic continuation and adjustment based on the state of the economic and public health crises. While Mr. Trump tried to bypass Congress with his own stimulus measures, those executive actions have thus far done little to bolster an economic recovery that real-time data shows has stalled since midsummer. The president's move to essentially create a new $300 unemployment supplement using federal disaster funds has drawn a backlash from state officials. Only a handful of states have thus far won funding from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to put the benefits in place, FEMA. Officials said this week that they did not expect most workers to begin to see benefits until the end of August. And right now it's August 19th. And that the initial grants to states would cover only 3 weeks of payments. A coalition of major business groups warned the Trump administration and congressional leaders on Tuesday that many of their member companies were unlikely to enforce a payroll tax deferral that Mr. Trump established this month by executive order, citing concerns that doing so could expose workers to a large and unexpected tax bill next year, which is something nobody wants. I'm telling you, nobody wants that. The letter calculates that a worker earning $50,000 a year could face a surprise tax bill of nearly $1,100. Wow. In 2021, if companies comply with Mr. Trump's orders, given that it does not erase the tax but merely defers payment, the coalition includes the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the National Association of Manufacturers, and more than 24 other businesses lobbying groups. Mr. Trump has said he will push Congress to forgive the delayed taxes, effectively resulting in a one-time tax cut. So basically what he's saying is the money is going to be taken out from our taxes, which is not good because I really need my taxes. I'm telling you, I need that money. Champions of the deferral plan claim it would pump more money into workers' paychecks at a time when the economic recovery has slowed and remains well short of its levels before the coronavirus pandemic sent it spiraling into recession. But analysts and business leaders have consistently expressed skepticism that it would deliver those promised benefits. Many of our members consider it unfair to employees to make a decision that would force a big tax bill on them next year. If Congress does not move to forgive the delayed liability, the coalition group said in their letter, it would also be unworkable to implement a system where employees make this decision. Therefore, many of our members will likely decline to implement deferral, choosing instead to continue to withhold and remit to the government the payroll taxes required by law. The new Republican plan was silent on the issue of temporary payroll tax relief, which has generated little enthusiasm among Republicans or Democrats in Congress this year, even though Mr. Trump repeatedly called it a top priority for a relief package. Instead, the plan seeks to essentially codify and fund Mr. Trump's planned $300 per week unemployment supplement through the end of December, while giving new life to the liability protection measures that are a top priority of Senate Republicans and business lobbyists, but were not included in any of Mr. Trump's unilateral actions this month. This new plan includes more money per week for unemployment workers than the original Republican legislative proposal. Oh, so this is just for unemployed workers. Okay, so this would not include me because I'm employed, I work. Which would have yielded expanded unemployment benefits capped at 70% of a worker's prior income, amounting to about $200 per week. Okay, so this don't make no sense. This really don't make no sense. Please tell me how this makes sense. Okay, so you want to give this money to unemployed workers. You want them to pay, or you're going to give them $300 per week, whatnot. But see, the thing is, if you're unemployed and you're getting that much, like, how are you supposed to pay that money back? You don't have a job, you're not working, so I don't see how you're supposed to pay that back if you're unemployed. You have to be employed in order to get that. It's basically a loan he's giving to us. Well, people that's not working, because I'm currently working, so this would not apply to me. But it says Democrats in their $3.4 trillion measure had fought to maintain the $600 weekly benefit first established in the $2.2 trillion stimulus law, which lapsed at the end of July as negotiators struggled to bridge stark divides over another aid package. Those benefits would apply retroactively to the end of the $600 per week benefits, meaning that some workers could be in line for large one-time checks. Why they do the dash rate? Why didn't they just make it like, do these people not know how to write one-time checks if the measure were to be approved and payments were sent to resume and to resume in September? But the proposal drops of the new but the proposal drops one of the few areas of I'm sorry, but I don't know that word. Consensus from the original Republican plan, and something Mr. Trump has said he wants to see a second round of direct payments to low and middle income Americans. The new legislation would establish the liability protections that are a long-time priority for Mr. McConnell, but that Mr. Trump has dismissed as non-essential. The bill would also provide $105 billion for schools as students have begun returning to classes. Emily Cochrane is a reporter in the... Okay, yeah, so that's all for this news report. So, very interesting. Okay, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. If you guys like the video, go and give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button. It really, it'll let you know every time I get a video if you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit that notification bell too, because that'll let you know every time I upload a video. And I upload videos all the time. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video though. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comment section. I'm really interested in what you guys think. This, in my opinion, is crazy. I don't know how they're gonna get away with this. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.